Hi YouTube, it's Inam4 again with another video on the Samsung Galaxy S2. But in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to install the Zagg InvisibleSHIELD screen protector on the Galaxy S2. If you saw my previous video, you'll see how I removed the old screen protector from it. So we're just going to go through the steps of installing the Zagg InvisibleSHIELD. I did the unboxing in previous video, so if you want to check out what comes in the box, watch that video, but it's pretty much what you got in front of you at the moment. We've got the InvisibleSHIELD itself, still stuck down on the paper, the cloth, the lint-free cloth that is supplied by Zagg. You've got the application solution there, and you've got the squeegee that they supply as well. First things first, what we need to do is power off the device. It needs to be off, so just power that down. I've already cleaned off the device itself, meaning I've kind of got rid of all the debris across the edges, and the way you can do that is using some sellotape and just working it way in with your fingernails in the side. Once you've done that and gotten the majority of that out, you can use like a small needle to get into the small crevices and work out any junk that you may have in there. See, there's a small needle there that gets into the right up against the edges as well, and works pretty good. And you can also use like a high pressure blower to get in there, but I've noticed that doesn't get the job done quite as well. So our phone's now off, so what you need to do is remove the battery as well, because we're going to be using quite a lot of the you're going to be using quite a lot of the application solution, so you don't want to get short circuit anything. So that's out. I'm just going to put the back on the device itself. Brilliant. So that's now on. So I'm just going to quickly wipe over the phone itself, because as I say, I've cleaned it before, but just handling it now will get my fingerprints on it. So we'll just use the InvisibleSHIELD cloth that came with it. Just make sure that's all clean. What we need to do is wet the fingers. Okay, now what we'll do is ease it off, just holding down this button hole there. Now the underside is sticky, so I just want to keep that side up. Okay, so I'm just going to light it on my hand. Okay, using the application solution, we want to get that on there. The reason why we're doing it is so that there's no air basically between the sticky part and the screen. So when we work it out with the squeegee, there shouldn't be in theory a lot of air bubbles. That's why we're putting the solution on. Plenty of it on there. I'm just gonna hold up the corner so that using the same corner. That's why I hold it. Just make sure we get the other. Just get some on the back as well. They advise, so just so that it's nice and slippery. So that's on as well. I'm just gonna make sure get it back on my hand, and we'll just put one last little bit there. It's very slippery. The more the better, basically. You don't want to make it too dry, because otherwise you might get patches where they peel off. So that's all on there. You never put any on the screen itself. You put it always on the InvisibleSHIELD, and you can see that's quite runny. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna see if we can quickly wipe away some of this residue that's come across. Brilliant. So bring the phone back in. What we'll do is flip that back over holding it by the same corner if I can. It's going to be a little bit messy with the dripping, but we'll see what we can do. We'll lie that on top and then see if we can move it around. Okay, so we've got that on. Just going to move this down a little bit. So we've got that on. We can move it towards where we need to. It's a little bit stiff, but try and work it into the areas that it needs to be. I'm just going to wet my fingers some more because it looks like it's dried. Okay, so just going to take and just spread it into where it needs to be. Don't worry about trying to get trying to avoid the holes, because it'll dry out. This is what Zagg recommend themselves, by the way, so just working it way in. So once it's in the position that it needs to be, I think that's pretty good, to be fair. I don't think I'm going to get it in a better position than that. There's plenty of water on there, but don't worry about that. Just use a squeegee now, just to get the pockets out of the way. We're just going to use the squeegee, trying to get the air bubbles out as we can. It's quite flexible. Always go from the center outwards and try and avoid any holes where you've got like the earpiece or the home button. So try and avoid bringing out the water there, or I should say the solution. So don't worry, it's a little bit messy, as I say, that's why we took the phone, the battery out the phone itself, so we won't short circuit anything. Okay, so I think that's the best I'm going to get it. I've worked out all the bubbles I think I've got. Now we'll just use the cloth that Zagg InvisibleSHIELD supplied, and just clean up the moisture side of things with the cloth. Make sure either you use the cloth that came with it, or just any other lint-free cloth itself. And there you go. I'm just going to bring the camera in there so you can see it close by. I've worked out all the bubbles and it's now completely dry. See it going around the edges there. And that's how you install the Zagg InvisibleSHIELD on the Samsung Galaxy S2. Now Zagg do recommend that you leave the battery and your phone off for between 12 to 24 hours after you do this, but I have worked out all the moisture as best I can, so I may give it about an hour or so, but they advise 12 to 24 hours of it being off. So you can take your own views on that. But that's how you install the Zagg InvisibleSHIELD on the Samsung Galaxy S2.